when I'm running the sound back there, you guys don't know how hard it is for me to keep the tune down. And I know it's loud now, but I just want, it's like, you'll stop at a red light, and this young kid will pull up alongside you, and his windows are up, and you can hear the song that's playing, so plain as day, and your windows are up too, and his whole car is vibrating. Well, that's what I want to do with that back there when we're going through the songs, because they're so good. There are so many good songs. The words of them are so fantastic. And you guys do a really good job. I'm telling you, you do a good job. So this morning, though, that's not what I was going to talk about. I read something in the last week or so about, it says, How to Miss a Blessing was what it was called. It was very interesting. I really, and I want to talk about that, but I want you to know, I have to confess that I am a procrastinator. And I don't know if you guys had figured that out or not, but I am a big-time procrastinator. And do you know what the favorite song of a procrastinator is? Never do today what you can put off till tomorrow. And so, that's one of my favorite ones. But this thing that I read was it was directed at me. And I thought, I'm sure there might be one or two other procrastinators out here. I'm not positive of that, but I suspect that there might be a couple here. So I see some nods going on out there. So, but this thing that I read, they said that, and I didn't know this woman at all. Her name was Claire Booth Luce. She was one of our ambassadors a number of years ago. And when she turned 75, she was asked if she had any regrets in life. And she said, for 56 years of my life, some nights I wake up and I think of a friend that I had. And she said so she would have been, probably a late teenager at the time. And the friend had a brain tumor. And the friend called her 3 or 4 different times and asked her to come visit. And she was busy and busy and busy, and she kept putting it off and putting it off. And the friend passed away, and she never saw her. And she said, I've regretted that to this day. And the talk, or the thing that I read, use that as an example of how you can regret things later on because you didn't follow through at the time when you had the opportunity. And what about when there's somebody in need, or a friend of yours, or just an acquaintance? Maybe somebody you just happened to bump into on the street and they need something. And you say, I'm going to take care of that, but you don't do it right away. And they called it a service. You could be doing them a service, and you would be giving them a blessing. But the thing about blessings is that when you give a blessing, you get a blessing back usually. Amen. You get something from it. And so when you don't follow through at the moment, you miss out on the return blessing, even though it would have been a blessing for that person. It would have also been a blessing for you in the end. And it said in that thing that I read, that little article, that when Jesus called his disciples, how many of them said, I'll be with you, Jesus, next week. I have to do this or I have to do that. If you remember correctly, every one of the disciples, when he called them, they dropped right what they were doing. Some of them were fishermen. They were pulling in the nets, and he said, come with me. And they walked away from their nets and let them float in the water. And they went and they followed Jesus immediately. And so the principle of the article was that we need to act when the chance is there. We don't want to put it off. And I know I'm famous for this. I say, I'm going to take care of that, but I'll do it tomorrow. I'm famous for it. And the way this, one of the last things that it said in this article was, I want to read this to you. Today is the day you thought about yesterday when you said, I can do that tomorrow. Isn't that kind of a neat play on words? And it's true. Okay. Today is the day you thought about yesterday when you said, I can do that tomorrow. Today is yesterday's tomorrow. So you should be doing it today while you have the chance. So the one thing I got out of this is don't miss the chance to help somebody out, to give them a blessing, because it's a guarantee you're going to get a blessing back. It's a slam dunk guarantee. And you might not see the blessing for a while, but you might see it instantly. You will get the happy feeling that you did that. But there's also repercussions farther down the road that someday God's going to give us that blessing too when we're standing up there in front of him at the pearly gates. Amen. So don't miss the chance to help somebody. So join me in prayer. Lord, you are just so fantastic. You care so much about us. You're the maker of the heavens, the earth, the stars, all of our intricate bodies, all of the things around us in nature that are constantly there, that are moving around. You were just so great. You made all of that. And it's so complicated. When science digs in and looks at how complicated it is, it's so hard to believe that it can all work. It is just so intricate and detailed. Everything from the universe to everything around us to our own very bodies. And Lord, you are so great. You made all that. And you're the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. And yet you care so much about us. You care so much about us that you sent your son Jesus to die on the cross for us. And that's what we're about to celebrate during communion, is that you sent your son. And Lord, thank you that you love us like you do. Thank you that you are always with us in every step we take. All we have to do is turn to you and you're there. Thank you, Lord. Bless all these folks that are here this morning, Lord, because it is so wonderful to see people in this congregation and hear them singing your praises and to see the smiles on their faces when we talk about you and we sing to you. Lord, bless David as he gives the sermon this morning. Bless this church, help to grow and thrive. Bless the school that's here. Bless our community. Bless our nation. And bless our leaders and give them the wisdom they need to bring us close to you as a nation. Help them to use the wisdom that you give them to better us, to bring us closer to you, not to better themselves, but to better this country. Lord, thank you for all you do for us and have given us, especially sending your son. We ask everything in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Folks, would you come forward and take communion?